Your first contract pays $200. You spend $180 on antibiotics for the knife wound you got delivering it. The last $20 buys a one-way bus ticket out of town, because the man who hired you just put a bounty on your head for knowing too much. The first time you kill for money, you vomit. The 5th time, you check your watch. By the 10th, you're already planning your next contract. This isn't glory. This isn't patriotism. This is transactional survival. And every rung you climb takes something from you, something you can't get back. Tonight, you'll live through all 5 levels, from the gutter to the gallows, from bouncer to butcher, and by the end, you might not recognize yourself. Level 1, bar bouncer. You stand outside the Iron Nail, rain slicing sideways off your collar, knuckles still swollen from last night's eviction. You don't get paid to think. You get paid to break jaws before they finish forming words. Last Tuesday, you crushed a man's larynx for saying please too loud. The owner tipped you extra for silence. You wear a cheap black jacket 2 sizes too tight, boots scuffed from kicking drunks down concrete steps. Inside, music thumps like a dying heartbeat. Outside, you breathe diesel fumes and regret. You earn $18 an hour, cash, no questions, no benefits, no future. But you've got a rep now. Stonehands, they call you, after you broke a guy's jaw for spitting on the doorman. That name sticks. And names travel faster than bullets in this world. Daily life is exhaustion wrapped in adrenaline. 12-hour shifts, sleepless nights. The constant hum of threat beneath every conversation. Your privilege, you're invisible to the law. Cops see you as furniture. But danger lives in every drunk's glare. Every gang member testing boundaries. Every rival crew looking to make a point. And the moral cost? You stopped asking why people fight. You just decide who wins. One night, a man in a tailored overcoat watches you eject a screaming addict into the alley. He doesn't flinch, just nods, slides a card into your palm. Ask for Harlan. 2 days later, you're knee-deep in a Jakarta sewer, dragging a billionaire's bleeding body past floating rats. His last words, if you survive, you work for me. Level 2, executive protection. Now you wear suits that cost more than your old apartment. Your earpiece crackles with coded phrases. Packages mobile. Clear the corridor. Eyes on the van. You're not Stonehands anymore. You're Agent Varick. You walk 3 paces behind your principal, a tech oligarch named Silas Crow, through airports, boardrooms, and penthouse lobbies. Your Glock rides concealed under Italian wool, but everyone knows it's there. Daily life is hypervigilance disguised as calm. You scan crowds for twitching fingers, memorize escape routes before entering rooms, taste coffee for bitterness that shouldn't be there. Privileges bloom like wounds, private jets, offshore accounts, access to places civilians only dream of. You sleep in 5-star suites while your principal negotiates arms deals over breakfast. But danger sharpens. Kidnappers target Crow. Hackers leak his schedule. Rival firms send accidents, brake failures, poison cigars, drone strikes disguised as bird strikes. And the moral cost? You snap her wrist on the escalator handrail so hard the bone punches through her sleeve. She screamed into your earpiece mic. Live on her podcast feed. Crow laughed and wired you $50,000 for audio quality control. Then came Bogota, a convoy ambush. Crow's car flips. Gunfire stitches the street. You drag him bleeding into a drainage tunnel, while his bodyguard, your predecessor, lies dead with half his face gone. In the dark, Crow grips your arm. You're promoted. Report to Kestrel Group. You nod. Blood drips from your eyebrow. You don't wipe it away. Level 3, PMC Contractor. Kestrel Group doesn't hire employees. It rents wolves. You're deployed to Helmand Province under a U.S. State Department contract labeled Stability Enhancement. In reality, you're clearing villages so mining consortiums can dig lithium without interference. Your uniform has no flag, just a patch with a stylized falcon and the words, Global Security Solutions. You wake up choking on sand, and the corpse of your spotter still strapped to the drone that blew him apart. Your MRE tastes like copper because you bit through your own cheek during the airstrike. And the hole you pissed in this morning, that's where they buried your translator after she screamed the wrong name. Privileges? You earn $800 a day. Tax-free, wired to a Cayman account. You get trauma insurance that pays double if you lose a limb. You're issued weapons the U.S. Army retired. M4A1s with serial numbers filed off. Suppressed MP5s. Drones that whisper before they kill. Danger multiplies. IEDs buried under goat trails. Snipers in minarets. Locals who smile until they detonate vests strapped to their children. And the moral cost? You kicked open the classroom door and stepped on a child's sandal still warm from her foot. The textbook under your boot had a math problem circled in red crayon. If Ali has 3 apples and gives one away, you vomited into your helmet, but kept clearing rooms. Back at base, your squad leader, the chemist, they call him for how he mixes truth serums with interrogation drugs, claps you on the shoulder. Clean work, Varric. Then he hands you new orders. Sudan, oil fields, deniable asset team. You pack your kit without hesitation. Level 4, Sanctioned Operator. In Khartoum, you don't wear a uniform. You wear local clothes, speak broken Arabic, carry a Belgian pistol with no paperwork. You're part of Task Force Obsidian, a black program funded by 3 intelligence agencies and 1 private equity firm. Your mission: destabilize rebel factions threatening pipeline routes. Daily life is paranoia wrapped in silence. You meet handlers in abandoned mosques, pass data via encrypted burner phones hidden in prayer beads, sleep in safe houses that change every 48 hours. Privileges are ghostly, diplomatic immunity on paper you've never seen. Emergency extraction via unmarked Gulf streams. Access to experimental tech. Thermal cloaks, neural dampeners that erase short-term memory and targets. Danger is existential. If captured, your government will deny you exist. Rebel cells post bounties with your face blurred but your gait described. One wrong step, and you vanish into a mass grave with no name. And the moral cost? You catch yourself smiling when the general's kneecaps shatter under your boots. Not because he begged, but because his daughter's voice on his phone still plays in your dreams. You delete the recording. Then you replay it. Then you order the airstrike. Then comes the call from Langley. Not official. Never official. A voice known only as the Architect offers you a final promotion. Tier 0. No rules. No oversight. Just results. You say yes before he finishes the sentence. Level 5. War Criminal. Your ship's GPS is spoofed to show it's docked in Rotterdam, while you watch live footage of your own mother's apartment in Minsk being raided by men wearing your old Kestrel patch. You don't call her. You mute the feed and approve the next strike. You're paid in cryptocurrency and rare earth metals. Your clients include oligarchs, dictators, and 1 European royal family desperate to erase a scandal. Daily life is detached, clinical, monstrous. You plan operations from a server room cooled by seawater, surrounded by monitors showing live feeds from drones hovering over refugee camps, election centers, chemical plants. You drink distilled vodka from a titanium flask. Sleep comes in 4-hour bursts, haunted by faces you've erased from history. Privileges? You answer to no one. You can trigger blackouts, sink ships, poison water supplies, all with a few keystrokes and a retinal scan. You own islands that don't appear on maps. But danger is absolute. Interpol has a file on you thicker than a Bible. Bounty hunters track your digital exhaust. Former allies whisper your code name, Viper, like a curse. And the moral cost? You once authorized a false flag attack on a hospital to frame a humanitarian NGO for bioweapon use. 87 died, including 12 children. You reviewed the footage twice, once for confirmation, once for technique. Now, you receive a message from the Architect. New contract. Target yourself. It's a test, or a trap, or both. You delete it. But you know the truth. You're not climbing anymore. You're falling. And the ground has been waiting since level 1. You didn't trade your soul. You auctioned it piece by piece on the dark web. Your brother's location for a clean passport. Your sister's testimony for a bulletproof vest. Your own name for a seat at the table where they decide who lives next week. You didn't lose your soul in some grand betrayal. You sold it in pieces. A tooth for a visa. A confession for a passport. A child's life for a bank transfer that cleared before the body hit the ground. Now, every time you close your eyes, you hear the hospital monitor flatline. Not from the attack you ordered, but from the one you'll order tomorrow. Because the contract's already in your inbox, and your finger's already on the trigger.